Many thanks for choosing us. Member of the Eswal Justice Kumson's Committee of Inquiry, which investigated the Jura killings, Dr. Vladimir Ntwedanso says developments at the back of Nkranza murder and subsequent youth clash with the police show that the nation has learned nothing from that incident. The youth of Nkranza have been demanding justice for a 28-year-old trader suspected to have been killed by the police in connection with alleged robbery. 90-year-old Victor Owusu lost his life yesterday during a clash with the police after the youth attacked a police station and freed some suspects. The atmosphere remains relatively tense following developments there since Saturday. Speaking on the AM show this morning, Mr. Vladimir Ntwedanso warns of a repeat of history if the situation is not well managed.
I don't think we have learned enough. This morning, I think Kwesi was interviewed and he said it bluntly. Clearly, yes, the police haven't changed. We have not been able to change the modus operandi and their psyche on crowd control. Crowd control has always been a problem for our police and our security services, crowd control. But I want to add to that a very quick one. That is to say that our own socio-psychological attitude towards institutions also must change. That is, we are not constitutional, we are not institutional. There is so much indiscipline in our society in such a way that, I mean, if we don't stop those things, because if there is a problem with the police, it's a human institution. They can make mistakes and they can even commit blunders. There are other institutions that can check the police. There are other measures that can check the police. But to take the matter into our own hands and wanting to override the police in their duties will always bring this kind of situation. I was very sad when I heard about several other deaths following the death of that guy in the cells. And it's like we haven't learned anything from the Ijra, but we need to do more. The police service itself, I know there will be a police inquiry for even themselves, and then maybe some other inquiries. But the public must also learn from past incidents and know our relationship to the police.
No, a mother of 19-year-old Victor Owusu killed in Tuesday's clash between police and the youth of Nkranza wants justice. Victor was a final year student of the Nkranza Technical Institute. He was shot in the head when the youth went on rampage protesting alleged killing of Albert Akwesi Donko. Ohemen Teria was at a Dumkrum family house of the deceased and has sent this report.
Midday. Mama Baiska, Quajo, no school. O se mame, Meko, Timmy Fletcher, Elko, Jim. No Jamua, Namete say, Meban. I was a father to her. I was a father to her. I will be better. I will be better.
So, Bernice, this is Madam Yakwa, and she's giving me background to what led to her son being shot in that process. The unfortunate story is that this is the only son or child she has, and she tells me yesterday in the morning, whilst leaving for the market, she actually gave money to the gentleman to go to school. So she didn't hear anything from her child until in the afternoon when she received call from the market that her son has been shot. So she's she's in pain. Mami Misa, say you can't Victor Owusu ya. Man on quite auto say. Entim pacho wadaroma ma tobo ase na aha entim no a wote say etua ka no de na we
Bobu ese ba sa mitimi banko minu na di machi minu na di machi ko okwa ampaso okwe amaro me ba ho ba bodu tuo beli guriti Belugunity. Belugunity. Dear Bonne, dear Bonne, dear Bonne, dear Bonne.
Nti ebe twa to nkomo be kra ne na one ba ni di e ansa kra nkomo be kra ne twa to one ni di e
e ka je se kwajo mi kwatwa enti ko school se ma me ko dodo ati ale se me ba ya fribu
So the only opportunity she had was yesterday when she told the son to go to school after giving him money, and then she left for the market. It was later in the day that she received the painful news, and she couldn't withstand it. So it took the brother to go to the hospital to confirm the story that indeed the 19-year-old Victor Owusu has been shot in the head. And she believes that the only child of her has been killed without any cause. And she tells me, Mommy, what's it I can say? So according to the mother, the child or the late Victor Owusu would have written the WASI in the next 3 months, so he completes his course at the Nkranza Technical Institute. But now he's no more. Let me find out from her again. I will say, me who say, "Facha me say me worry woman and so yedeni say ya kasa kakra." Say asem wa be dia pa na wo hwehwe say besi e wo Victor ni we ho.
Asem tren me pe. Apart for di mawu. Omadi mawu.
Na oti ye no na oba no ka wo mo ye kire no ho ana se na won ka ho.
Dabio. Na me mo jamu. Dabio.
A high police delegation from the IGP are expected in Nkranza for further engagement with community leaders. Member of the Defense and Interior Committee in Parliament, Jensa Galga, has joined us now for more on this development. Mr. Galga, I'm grateful for your time. I remember when the incident of the one that happened recently with the social media activist Ibrahim Kaka, you made a lot of you warned us that if we do not handle this with care, we will see recurrence. Today we are seeing this in Nkranza. I mean, how does this come across to you?
Well, Asha, what is happening in Nkranza is very, very unfortunate. Coming on the heels of what happened at the Jura, as you rightly pointed out, and even given the fact that about 2 months ago, Randolph Jima Ansa, he was a constable, and Lance Corporal Stephen Kweku Nyami, police officers implicated in the bullion van robberies, were apprehended by the police. And whilst in police custody, they were supposedly sent to assist the police to apprehend members of their cohort. In the process, the police told us that there was exchange of gunfire, and these 2 police officers died in the process. Now, Asha, what is happening at Nkranza is a very similar story. And the story of the police is not any different. This time around, they are saying that an armed robbery suspect, one Alex Donko, was arrested by they themselves, sent to police custody. The next moment, Alex Donko is reported dead. This is what sparked the riots in Nkranza, which resulted in the shooting to death of yet another individual, a 19-year-old boy. Asha, the questions that we need to ask is, what type of policing are we seeing today? Is it the case that the police is now involved in extrajudicial killings? Because suspects in the custody of the police are supposed to be treated in a certain way. These stories are becoming one too many to believe. I mean, for the police to tell the public that suspects in their custody continue to die in their own attempt to apprehend more suspects. You send a suspect who is already in your custody to a crime scene, and in the process, you come back and tell us that the person has been killed. There are suspicions that these are extrajudicial killings, and something needs to be done. Look, Aisha, in the case of Constable Randolph Jima Ansah and Last Corporal Stephen Kwekunyami, we filed a motion in Parliament so that a bipartisan committee would be constituted to look into the matter. As I speak to you, that motion is pending. Whilst the motion is pending, yet another similar incident has happened. What do we do in the circumstances, Aisha? I think that another motion would have to be filed, and the previous one that was filed and is pending, if admitted by the Speaker, would have to be consolidated so that the two are dealt with together. But having said that, Aisha, we recently had the Jura incident, and a committee of inquiry was set up by the Minister for the Interior, the Justice Kumsim Committee. The Justice Kumsim Committee came out with its recommendations. Some of them were far-reaching. Then I also recall the Ayawaso West Wagon Commission of Inquiry made far-reaching recommendations, and some of them had to do with riot control. Why are our police officers continuing to use excessive force, to use live ammunition in crowd control? Aisha, this for me is something that I just can't come to terms with. Look at the 19-year-old boy who was shot. He was shot right in the forehead. Aisha, right in the forehead. And so you ask yourself, what type of crowd control systems did the police put in place to deal with the crowd, which was agitated as a result of the killing of Alex Donko? These are matters that should engage the attention of all, and we would not leave any stone unturned. Like I said, a further motion is going to be filed, and if needs be, it will be consolidated with the previous one, which is already pending, so that these matters are properly interrogated, and at least the type of policing we're seeing these days, there ought to be a change. It is unacceptable for suspects in the custody of the police to be killed in the manner.
James Agalga is he's a ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, and he says that we've not learned our lessons from what happened in Ejura. Mr. Agalga, if you're back, just a quick one for me. What could be accounting for the recent incidents of alleged police involvement in criminal activities?
Well, it's not something that is far-fetched. I have a time without number complaint that the way and manner people are recruited into the security services leaves much to be desired. Now, because the recruitment procedures are not transparent, we end up having in the midst of the security agencies miscreants. And so once you have miscreants in the midst of the security agencies, then you are bound to have challenges with the fight against crime. Look at the officers who were implicated in the bullion van robberies, but unfortunately lost their lives. Police officers themselves. Now, even in the Nkoranza incident, going by what we are hearing from relatives of the deceased, it appears that the suspect must have said something which, in one way or the other, implicated some police officers. I mean, if this story is anything to go by. It means that we need to do a lot, with respect to the type of personnel we recruit into our security agencies. Maybe, Aisha, it is time to purge the services of such miscreants. Not until we do that, the fight against crime is bleak.
I'm grateful for your time. James Agalga is the ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee. Now, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister has revealed he's waiting on the O family to present their plan for redevelopment of the ceded land before he goes ahead to give them approval for its intended development. This follows his description of rumors of the sale of Achimota Forest as baseless allegations stemming from uninformed positions. He says what has happened is just a reclassification of the land and not a sale. But first, my colleague Samuel Kojobris visited the forest this morning and met someone who worships in the forest. She warned against the idea to sell the forest. She and other Ghanaians shared their thoughts on this development.
I think selling it would be a bad idea. It's not a good thing to sell the land, because when it rains, it's the forest that protect us. The trees and the, the trees and stuff, they protect us. So if you have to sell the land, that will not make any good use to us. Yeah. So I don't think he selling it would be a good idea. No, he shouldn't.
All right then.
All right.
Okay, we are planting trees, right? So why do we sell the existing ones when we want to plant more? We should rather protect what we have and then build upon what we have, not rather destroying what had already been preserved. This has been preserved for ages. So why is it that today there's a need to destroy what we have protected for ages? It's not right to sell it.
Well, government says I'm not selling. I'm only giving the peripherals where already development have started to the family for some other development. What do you make of it?
Is it needful? Is it needful? It's not needful to even give out a portion of it. We are supposed to rather protect it, not to give part of it. We know it has been depleted to a way. We are supposed to rather protect what is left, not to give it out. So it's a bad idea. Even giving out the peripherals is a bad idea.
That's okay. That's good. That's good news. But selling it is not good, because the forest is here since long time, and I think it is a good place for us. As
yes, we are still talking about Achimota Forest. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Very well.
As a person, I can say, my name near president, or person or yet. But Achimota Forest, a bois bebre, who can in the book of 1 Chronicles 7:14 now, or see if my people that shall call by my name will humble themselves and seek my face and pray, I the Lord, I will heal their land. Ghana pempem so ayabedu se se age nyame. Omudi omo adwen akonhu bia nya yie. Babia ye mpai bo bia nso a nyame de yakọ ho a yakọkọ mpaye no. Omunim na omudim omonsanka. Oman Ghana nyame ni ye mpanyifo ne bedi ne yawo mo. Because Achimota Forest na wo ho no. Me osofo ba, me so me ko bo mpaye wo ho. Me ne me crop ko. Me die sometimes ago, but me who said do baby necessary me dane mani. Ghana nya nipa ba ako dia. Enye MPP dia, enye NDC dia. Enti so mu ya de omu kai hu se edu anajo omu de omu titu pilo so da. Na omu da omu nkwa kodin. Ene na se so omu hu se yare ahoro na ebe wiase no. Ya so odin ne ya boni bebrebe ene atwesa ade ne ba. Se nipa ya ade a nipa na eka. Se nipa kana se wonti a ekire wode nomie ne ko ufie anya somdwe da.
But I better explain say we forest in the main farm in Sanka. Ye be develop kura na ko nanim. Eye ne yede da ho no na family so mo pen ye de ma omo. Enye forest na nkasa.
Ene de enya me masem. Ono de ne nyankopon asem.
Speaking on the Super Morning Show, Joy FM, Samuel Abujina, Portland's minister, says he's yet to give approval.
We can go into the report, and I'm sure there will be a very vivid and justifiable account or reason why that is so. We can do that. I don't have the whole file here with me.
You don't
but
have
it's
the
something
file
that I've even called for, actually.
Come again?
I say something I've called for. Because one or two people have drawn my attention to that, and I've called for the justification for it. There will be, because these things were not done overnight. These were thorough
long-standing negotiations and discussions with all kinds of variables. If you acquire somebody's land in 1927 and you are giving him land in lieu of compensation today, as you will agree with me, the value of land in 1927, if you do the extrapolation to 2022, but as minister, I don't pass judgment on this matter. There are technical people at the ministry who do these evaluations and who present reports and make recommendations, and we move forward with that.
Okay.
But we can always go into that.
Yes, talking about going into the report.
You heard the Samuel Abujina, Port Lands Minister, explaining that he's yet to give approval for this land in Achimota. We can go back to Nkranza and speak with Ohime Nteria, who is following up on the clash between the youth and the police over the death of a 28-year-old man. Let's talk to Ohime. Ohime, what's the latest? It's interesting to hear the mother accuse police of engaging in yet another wrongful killing. What are the basis of her allegations? Ahmed, what's the latest from Nkranza as we hear the mother of the boy who has been shot recently accuse the police?
Yes. There's so much. The woman, Madam Yakwa, is unhappy with the manner in which her son, her only son, identified as Victor Owusu, was hit by bullets allegedly fired by police officers who were detailed to ensure, maintain peace in Nkranza. And when the youth went on rampage, she believes that the son was actually on his way to the shop when the incident happened. So she wants justice and all those involved being brought to book as well.
Now, we're told top police officials from the national headquarters were expected in Nkranza. Are they already in? What have they been up to?
Okay. So, Aisha, it's been difficult hearing you, but I can hear you from afar. The situation here is that COP Tete Yuhuno is leading a team of police officers, senior police officers, on behalf of the Inspector General of Police. A while ago, when the team arrived, they inspected the Nkranza Municipal Police Headquarters that came under attack yesterday, and 6 inmates who were in custody were freed. And he was taken round to assess damage caused to the facility here. So as we speak, the team, we are told, is joining the Regional Security Council to move to the Nkranza St. Teresa Catholic Hospital to visit some of the injured persons who are still on admission. As we speak, we are told 8 people were brought in injured. 3 of them have been discharged, meaning that 5 are still on an admission, with 1 death recorded. And so the team is moving to the hospital to see the injured persons and also meet traditional authorities here and the leadership of the youth group who tried as much as possible to calm down their members, but members wouldn't listen. Beyond this, we are also being told if there's opportunity, the police team will also visit the family of the deceased Victor Owusu to also commiserate with their family as far as the issues and security is concerned here. But let me say that peace, calm has returned I must say to Nkranza, everybody is going about his lawful duties, and we've seen police, present in almost all public places. They are manning and providing security in some public installations and public places like the markets, banks, and then schools, and especially the Nkranza St. Teresa Catholic Hospital, to ensure that the youth will not have the opportunity to regroup and then foment a trouble here.
Interior is with our security desk. Is monitoring events in Nkranza. We'll still bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. We're back in Accra, where the SAC Chief Executive of the Public Procurement Authority, Ejenim Boateng Ejay, has allegedly emptied all his once frozen bank accounts. This comes after a court lifted the freeze on his accounts. According to information available to the Fourth Estate, the dismissed Chief Executive Officer of the PPA cleared his accounts of all the funds before the current Special Prosecutor, Kisia Jabing, took office. Mr. J was in office for 2.5 years, and more than 41 million Ghana cedis was paid in cash into his CD, dollar, and euro accounts. An expose by investigative journalist Manasseh Azuri-Awini, dubbed contracts for sale, led to the suspension and subsequent dismissal of Mr. J. But what more do we know? Manasseh Azuri-Awini, producer of that documentary, has been speaking. All right, so before we hear from Manasseh Azuri-Awini, let's lead you in to what the contracts for sale revealed. It revealed that Mr. J formed the company Talent Discovery Limited with his brother-in-law after his appointment as CEO of the PPA. This company won a number of government contracts through the restrictive tendering method. The contracts were approved by PPA board, of which Mr. J was a member. Now, President Akufo-Addo suspended ABAJ in August 2019 after that documentary by Manasseh Azuri-Awini. And the Talent Discovery Limited were told by the investigations that it had no capacity to execute those contracts. So it then sold the contracts to individuals and companies without the knowledge or approval of the awarding entities. Now, beyond the suspension, President referred Mr. J to the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice charge and the official of the Special Prosecutor to investigate his conduct. That is still under investigation at the OSP. The Special Prosecutor disclosed that from 2017 to August 2019, Mr. J had 15,691,559 and 30 cities. In his US dollar account, he had 4,467,655, and in his euro account, he had 54,500 euros. Now, these accounts were suspended by the then OSP Martin Amidu, but before Kisia Jabing took office, it was released to him, and the monies in the 3 accounts, we're told, have all been taken out. We can now listen to producer of that documentary, Manasseh Azuri-Awini, who gave details of this new development and how he feels about it.
Supposed to have the freezing order working expired, and the resignation of Martin Amidu and the stalemate that followed resulted in the stalling of the investigation. And so in that intervening period, he went to court and got his lawyers to argue. And the court granted his wish. And what we have also been told by our sources is that the Financial Intelligence Center could have also put or apply for a freezing order, by which time the Special Prosecutor's Office would have reconstituted itself and continued with the investigation and perhaps gone to court with the case. So this is why he was able to get all the monies in his accounts out. And we are talking about so much money that went into the account. We had about $4.6 million, 15.4 or so million Ghana cedis, and 54,000 euros. in 3 separate accounts, Aisha.
So what does this actually mean to the case we investigated by the special prosecutor?
Well, I don't think it will affect the substantive case. What will be difficult, perhaps, is getting him to return the money if the court finds him guilty or if that is pursued. It would be easier to get all the monies if they were frozen in accounts. The state could just get those monies transferred from ABAJ's account to accounts of the government after whatever legal processes that needed to be done. But now that the money has been taken, nobody knows where he has kept those monies. And so even if there's a court order today for him to return the money, I don't know how easy it will be for the government of Ghana to trace and then get everything that ever passed through his account, which he could not satisfactorily explain to the Office of the Special Prosecutor, SHRAJ, and any other investigative body that may have handled this case. So for the substantive case, I think there is nothing that is going to impede the investigation.
You have from Manasseh Azori Awene. Before we go, here are extracts of that documentary aired in 2019.
Our investigation, however, reveals a disturbing trade in government contracts. Even more disturbing are those behind it. There is a group of companies off the Manet Junction on the Spintex Road in Accra called the TDL Group. Talent Discovery Limited is its flagship company. This company has nothing to do with the discovery and development of talents, as the name might suggest. This is where the fates of the Chamba Road and other government contracts are held. Talent Discovery Limited is alleged to be using its political connections to win government contracts and then sell them.
So what is your company name?
Richard Kumadra met the general manager of the TDL Group, Thomas Amwa. Mr. Amwa signs the contracts on behalf of TDL. He took notes on our fake business and proceeded to talk about the number of contracts at hand.
There have been people interested in the project. Actually, some have dropped checks.
Okay.
But I am key to people like this project.
Okay.
Because if it goes wrong, it tarnishes the image of your company.
Okay. Okay.
So they are outstanding by it because the terms of it is very, very favorable. And everybody will want to do it.
Okay.
The contract.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
The $158,000.
$158,000.
Okay. So you can read through.
Okay.
We're still live on Joy News today. We'll take a break and bring you more in business.
It's time now to do business with me, Beverly Broom. KFC Ghana has opened one of its branches in Cape Coast. The new branch in Cape Coast is the 27th branch to be opened in the country. Management of the facility believes with the tourism potential of Cape Coast, KFC will go far to provide great services to the people of Cape Coast and its surroundings. Speaking at the opening, Central Regional Minister Justina Marigold Asan promised the brand of government support and entreated the food giant to maintain its standard and serve the people well. Richard Kojanyako reports.
The KFC Corporation, based in Louisville, Kentucky, is one of the few brands in America that can boast a rich, decades-long history of success and innovation. The opening of the new branch here in Cape Coast adds to their growing numbers in Ghana and across the world. Central Regional Minister Justina Marigold Asan called on the brand to rely on the local content and live up to their standards because they have the support of the people.
In fact, I patronize your services and I know what you can do. And we pray that you will not compromise your services as Omahini rightly said. Provide customers with tasty and appetizing meals and fried chicken as well as create jobs for the people of the region. We will just plead with you that employ the people of Cape Coast, employ the people of Cape Coast, and then buy from the people of Cape Coast, buy from the local people, so that in so doing you'll be contributing to the local economy. We don't want you to be importing everything to Cape Coast. Don't move to Accra, don't move to Takoradi for everything that we'll be using to run the facility.
The Omahini of the Ogwa traditional area, Osabre Makwesiata II, added to the advice of the regional minister and called on KFC to maintain its standard.
KFC is known throughout the world. You have a quality to preserve. Please stick to the quality of KFC throughout the world. The quality here should be comparable to that of the United States, of UK, wherever.
The KFC marketing manager, Chris Adosakwa, thanked the people of Cape Coast for their support and promised them of quality service delivery.
We are excited to open our 27th branch here in Cape Coast. And I think for Cape Coast, everybody knows that when you are talking about the history and then the prominence of Cape Coast, it definitely can't be underrated. So as a business that keeps growing, as a business that keeps satisfying the consumers and the Ghanaians in general, we actually got a partnership through the Blue Butler family and then the Goyle company to be able to actually put up this amazing edifice to satisfy our consumer base in the central region. And we are urging all Cape Coasters to patronize KFC. Of course, affordability and then quality meals is rest assured.
The KFC brand emerged with one cook who created a soon-to-be world-famous recipe more than 70 years ago. A list of secret herbs and spices cracked out on the back of the door to his kitchen. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejonya, Cape Coast.
Away from that, now the Consolidated Bank of Ghana has donated some food items and an undisclosed amount of money to the National Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuhu Shaributu to mark the just-ended Ramadan and to celebrate the 130th birthday of the Imam. Here's more.
Deputy Managing Director of Consolidated Bank Ghana, Nanama Puku, said the courtesy call was to find out the charitable causes Sheikh Shaributu is undertaking and how her outfit can help.
We came purposely to congratulate him and the entire Muslim community nationwide for the recent Eid al-Fitr celebration, and also to seek his blessing as the bank continues its journey ahead. We brought 30 bags of rice, 20 boxes oil, and an undisclosed amount of money. We wanted to find out what charitable causes His Eminence is interested in. So I believe pretty soon we'll have the list of those and then support him with that accordingly.
The National Chief Imam, Sheikh Osman Nuhu Shaributu, thanked the bank for the gesture and prayed for them. Here's his spokesman, Sheikh Arimaya Shuaib.
The Chief Imam has indicated that he is very grateful to them for this gesture. He is happy with the gesture they have done and associates also with the work that they do. Chief Imam has prayed for the management staff of the CBG for blessings collectively and individually, and has prayed for them also to be successful in the ventures that they are undertaking. He says that for them to bring this kind of gesture to support him is something that he appreciates, and so he is very, very thankful to the CBG for this kind of assistance.
Sheikh Shaributu took the opportunity to call on religious leaders to take security measures seriously amid rising terrorism within the West African region. Here's the spokesman again.
With respect to the security alert that was issued from the Office of the Minister of National Security and requesting religious leaders to take steps to protect all places of worship against the imminent threat of terrorism, which is expanding its space within the West African sub-region. With the leadership of the non-Muslim community, i.e., we are talking about the Christian community, to jointly all take steps to ensure that we give effect to the advice and the concerns that has been raised by the Ministry of National Security.
That's all for business now. We have more business coming up on Marketplace at 1 p.m. Please stay.
Muftar Nabila Abdullahi here with sports on Joy News today. The recent conversations around match fixing, which has seen Ashanti Gold and Inter Allies demoted into Division 1, continue to dominate the airwaves. And the latest person to wade into the conversation is a former player of Ashanti Gold, Augustine Ahimfo. He says the move by the Ghana Football Association will serve as a deterrent to others.
I was expecting something to happen due to what I saw last year, after news broke that this game was either played because the match had been fixed before. I really was expecting a verdict that wasn't going to go well with Ash Gold and the other team involved. So I was not really surprised, but it is shocking that at this day and age, a club like Ash Gold in Ghana should allow themselves to be run down like that. I think it says as a deterrent to all of us, for us to know that in everything that you do, one day, you are going to be held responsible. And that is what we've seen.
And stories on issues that has to do with the Ghana Football Association. The Catch Them Young refereeing policy continue to grow as referees manager of the Ghana Football Association, Alex Cote, says the move by the football government will ensure that the security of referee in the country is in safe hands.
This is a project we started about 2 years ago, where we embarked on the Catch Them Young project, where we were recruiting boys and girls from the schools. And last year, we started with a tournament under the sponsorship of KGL, and you saw some of the referees, young boys and girls who came to officiate in that tournament. As a continuation project, we felt that it was very necessary that after that long period, we bring them back again to see what they have done after leaving the tournament. And so the FA and the referee department decided to bring the 30 referees who officiated in that tournament, and then we increased the number by 20 to make the number 50. And so currently we have 50 of them in camp, which we have dubbed as a preparation training for the next tournament later this year. Now the course started on Monday. We started with the arrivals, and then in the evening we started with the amendments. Yesterday we continued with the amendments, and we then did the loss of the game in the morning. Then in the afternoon we did some practical refereeing with the new concept of the gates. Okay, so we introduced them to the new concept, that is the gates, and that is what we did yesterday as practical exercises. This morning we started again with some loss of the game. We continue with position and reading, and then we did the loss of the game as well.
And now for some news in showbiz here on the news. My name is KMJ. Renowned gospel musician Dr. Sonny Badu has replied to his critics who strongly chastised the musician and preacher for doing tattoo. In an interview with Zion Felix, Dr. Sonny Badu says God is interested in his heart and not his body.
It's high time certain mentalities change. If it does, we will do more exploit, and we will be able to influence a lot of people. God, I know people will quote scriptures, and quote scriptures, but I say, oh, nyamese body no, but Zion, I've met people who look clean, but omu ye criminal sin bibia. Your body na ye di ho agro no. Ye beja no how. Ye beja wasasi so. Who are within 1 year, ube pro or body no. It's not the body God is interested in. It's the heart. It's your soul. It's your mind. It's what's within that God is interested in. everybody has been called for certain people. They're different from the other people. So long as my mother doesn't have a problem, my wife doesn't have a problem, my father doesn't have a problem, my children don't have a problem, anybody's opinion really doesn't really matter to me. I know why I did it. I know why I put it there. Zion, when you're tagging this, tag it well, because you'll put me in trouble. But yeah, for me, it's we striving to do good. We striving to influence people right. We striving to be a better person in life. And then they hear me. To say, we say, it came out, wow, why I say, I didn't know how way. Mr. Mint, I didn't know how.
Yes, wow.
No, yes, me, my wife,
okay.
But who say no? So everybody had their own.
And that was Dr. Sonny Badu explaining why he did the tattoo. Away from that, actress Gloria Safo has shared her view on the issue of sex for movie roles and even stated she was once a victim of that. Sharing her personal experience on the Restoration show, the actress stated that the situation has been there for a long time, and especially when you are a new and up-and-coming actress. Here is Gloria Safo.
Julia Pierre. She discovered me and gave me a role in Hotel St. James. And so I was with them for a while, and I did a few things with them. And then I started going for like proper auditions. And at that time, I started going for auditions when I was in Bema Camp. Bema Camp, girl, be one lorry fair cry, wouldn't be able to audition. But la sulala no in your kakra naija. Now they are called auditions. Man, when you go for the auditions, you sit there like from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now in your row. Now that's what it was, you know.
Yeah, director,
you know, and like you believe in yourself that you can do something, and by the time you realize the movie is on TV and you're watching it, you know, it's so funny. So I had it really tough during auditions, and there are some people too. I mean, when these young ones approach us and tell us, hey, this person is trying to have his way with me before he gives me a role, blah, blah, blah. And I tell them, it's been there. Some of us, I mean, there are some people who beat their chest. They told us in the face, Massa, if you don't succumb to what we're saying, you're not going to be seen on TV. I know they're true. They will show you pictures of some ladies already on TV, actresses already on you know, on the screen. You know, just to make sure say also you give in and all that. And it was really.
And that was actress Gloria Safo on the issue of sex for roles in the movie industry. That will be all for Showbiz. My name is KMJ. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. Aisha.
And that will be it for the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Enjoy the rest of our programs.